Now, I'm all for recycling and reusing and good housekeeping in general, so looking after the rivers and the oceans, reducing plastic and maintaining the biodiversity of the environment. But what I'm not into is this, hypocopracy. It's actually a new word that I created this afternoon, actually to reflect the nonsense that I'm observing from COP26. We've heard this all before, we're supposedly saving the planet, but let's be truthful, we're really just trying to save ourselves on it. We're hoping that we can have an impact on an ever-changing, unpredictable living thing. So according to Boris Johnson, the world is at 1 minute to midnight in the fight against climate change. Sorry, was he saying his flight was at 1 minute to midnight? If we ignore the private jets that he and the other 25,000 delegates took to attend COP on Wednesday, Boris Johnson took another private jet from the conference to Glasgow to a dinner at a London club. Now, this journey is apparently likely to have produced at least 980 kilograms more carbon emissions per passenger than if he'd taken the train. The Prime Minister basically opted for the highest carbon form of transport known to man currently that is of any relevance. And according to the Campaign for Better Transport, if he'd practiced what he'd preached and taken the train, the 400-mile journey from Scotland would have given off just 20 kilograms of CO2 per passenger. And in an attempt to show how green COP truly is, electric cars were used. However, the lack of electric car chargers meant that the cars had to resort to diesel to generate their power. So proving that even they, with their limited numbers, were unable to show electric cars as a viable option. Yet we're to scrap our fossil fuel burning ones in less than 10 years. And of course, when the battery goes in an electric car, presumably, you'll have to buy a new one, won't you, when the battery dies? Think of your mobile phone battery. Great at keeping the charge for the first year, but gradually becoming more inefficient until it dies. Boris Johnson's also calling on countries like Brazil and Indonesia to stop tearing down the rainforests. In the UK, we produce electricity from burning 25 million trees a year. And a biomass power station receives over £2 million a day in green subsidies, but releases more carbon into the atmosphere than coal. The energy it creates is classed as renewable because new trees are planted. But guess what? It will take decades, if not centuries, to reverse the environmental damage. They call this offsetting. Yes, more like offsetting the damage. COP is like a smoker who's planning to quit. It all starts tomorrow.